Yes, sir. We back with another episode on How You Vote This podcast. We got a very, very special guest in the building. Martin, what's happening?
Hey, man, what's going on?
How you doing, family?
Everything
good to see you.
Yes, sir.
You know, last time I see you on the stage over there at the Jazz in the Garden, man.
Yeah.
But we ain't gonna rush right into it, man. Let the people know more about your background and like how you got into this position as like an entrepreneur and a community activist working with the children at the park.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it stemmed from just basic upbringing and things like that. The will and desire to give back to, generally just build the future. You can't do it by sitting back talking about it. You got to actually get out there and then make a difference some kind of way. The best way for me was through sports. It's something that I like to do, love to do, and it came easy for me.
And I'm quite sure y'all made a big impact too. Is it FYFL?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, y'all made a big impact with the youth in the community, Carol City, the whole Norland area, with the youth like not being with so much time on their hands committing crimes, so they're able to go to practice even if the parents ain't got the money or entertaining that much. You got Coach Martin, you got everybody out there, the coaches, and helping in the behind the scenes with them getting prepared to touch the field. How has that been working with the children, coaching them and being that father figure or that leader for them?
I mean, like I said, it's something that just came natural. I saw it as a child. Somebody did it for me, so it was quite natural and easy for me having a blueprint of how it should look to go and duplicate the same things that was done. I think it's something that's needed, that we need to have people who look like us deal with kids, deal with our own kids. We know how we think, we know what we think, and we know how to respond to each other. So I think it's ultra important to have positive role models in these kids' lives. Someone where fathers and men in their lives are absent. It's important that we stand in the gap.
That's what's up. Brothers in the community, you know what I'm saying? Holding it down. So I wanted to switch it a little bit to the club scene.
Right.
Studio 1 and 3.
Okay.
How has it been like being in that position to know what it's like behind the scenes to actually run a club? A lot of people, like what is the biggest myth about like being in the club or like knowing the behind the scenes work?
Everybody just really see the party.
Yeah.
They don't see the work that goes into actually getting prepared for each day. So, the club closed, the club got to get clean.
Right.
Things got to get counted. Things have to get ordered. Things have to be, replaced that was done during the actual party. Repairs got to be done. Actually we closed right now for 3 days repairing some things that's done, dilapidated over time or what have you. But, it's a lot of work involved, and it's not just, party night after night after night without, no effort going into it.
So we just had Chief Week.
That's right.
Carol City stand up, CC.
All day.
So coming from how we first started with the picnics to now, or even the school building too, the old school building to now, how do you feel about Carol City right now, just the schools and even our school picnic?
Right, so Carol City is the staple of the community. The community moved off of how the school is moving. So it was a big movement, a big pride in Carol City when the band was doing this thing, the football team was doing this thing, right. The basketball team was doing this thing, the girls basketball team was doing this thing. So it gave a sense of pride to our community, something to hang our hat on, something to be proud about. And that thing just carried over to generation after generation after generation. Whether up or down now, Carol City is what it is. It's, they could call it Miami Gardens.
I was just about to bring that.
You're going to say where you're from. You're not going to say Miami Gardens. You're going to say Carol City.
Yeah, I was just about to bring it out. I was about to say, how often do you find yourself saying Carol City over Miami Gardens?
I'm going to say Carol City first.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? If it's somebody who's young or look perplexed, I might say Miami Gardens. Right. Just to give them a reference point.
Okay, so I see you wearing the Strong Arm chain. you know, I know, but for the viewers out there, all my Voltage fans, you know, this is my family, this is my older cousin, you know what I'm saying, one love, you know what I'm saying? But for the viewers out there, how did the relationship start building in the entrepreneur with the studio world, with the music, not Studio 183 the club, you know, the recording studio, and just helping them with the music?
Right. So all that started originally with Po' Boy.
Po' Boy.
So this is back in 1999, and everything manifested from Po' Boy to now Strong On,
right,
and things like that. So it's really just a family-oriented community that we do have. You know, everyone thinks that it just magically appeared or what have you, but it's been a long road. Like I said, it started in '99.
Right. A lot of growth and development.
A lot of.
What's the first single? Because you know I know my homework, so I'm gonna see if we on point together. What's the first single? Cognito, Big Bang.
Big Bang.
It was. All right.
Big Bang.
Because was POD over there?
POD was over there with something going on.
Okay.
Him and Rick Ross.
Okay.
And Trick.
So what was the first official record or album that came from out of Po' Boy? It gotta be out of POD or Cognito.
It's Big Bang. Big Bang was probably the first album that did come out of there.
Okay, shout out Cognito, y'all already know.
That's right.
That's how I started. Growth and development, you know, I was out there one of them summers where they had the street team and we was out there passing out all the CDs and flyers. See, this before the Screaming era took over, you know what I'm saying?
Right on South Beach.
Right on South Beach. That was the attack the market over there for all the out of towners when the tourists come. They're like, what's all these Po' Boy shirts and Po' Boy and all this flyers and stuff.
It was a mob.
So speak on that too. A lot of people don't know how to organize a great advertising and marketing strategy. Some of the times when you will push the artists or be a part of the even FloriDa campaigns,
correct.
How is it like setting up like some of the packages for being organized to display the artwork and the flyers and marketing and all of that?
So of course everything done changed. You know, we in the digital era now as opposed to being in the hard copy era back when we started. So in the hard copy era, you pasted and plastered the city with whether it was cards, whether it was signs and
Posters,
everything else, posters and everything, you know, just to make sure that you stayed in somebody's face.
Most definitely.
You know, and it transcends now to where everything is digital and everything is via social media and things of that nature. So, you know, you have to evolve with the game as how you go.
Mm-hmm.
If you stay behind, that's where you end up.
So I don't know the answer to this question, but I know a few times that you was on a heist, like a real height in your career. What was the biggest moment in your career that you would say thus far? Like you can't believe these moments is happening. You can say more than one too, you know.
No, I mean a lot of things for me is personal height. So you know, of course, the birth of my child.
Most definitely.
You understand?
Shout out Cuz, shout out Marche, shout out Cuz.
You know, of course, the most recent thing is, you know, getting the key to the city.
Yeah, we was gonna get to that. Yeah, we was gonna get to that.
You know, it's a lot of different little things, different monumental things and stuff like that. I'm not really big on accolades or recognition and things like that. But it's just little things like that. Little things mean a lot, you know.
So before we get off topic, do you feel like being humble sometimes like that keep you in a vibe where your blessings continue to flow and you're satisfied with how you give to the community and how people perceive you as a person?
Right. I mean, I think being humble is one of the most greatest traits I think a man can have.
Right.
You know, now expectations or feeling left out or feeling like no one is appreciating whatever it is that you're doing, it keeps things in perspective in terms of saying, I'm not doing it for that.
Right.
You know, I'm doing it because this is what I want to do and this is what I think needs to be done.
Right.
So I think humility is a great characteristic that men do have and men should have.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. So you bring up the keys to the city.
Yes, sir.
I'm quite sure everybody asking you questions or thinking that all of these different things. What's some standard stuff that you could say about it that's like, you know, not giving out too much details and info, but what is it about and what accomplishment is that to you and, you know, what it is to the world to understand that you get the keys to the city from any city that they from or even your situation?
So for me, it was a big thing. It was a big surprise, as a matter of fact.
Congratulations as well.
Thank you. But for me, it's a big thing. A lot of times we see people who are quasi-famous get keys to the city. So you'll see entertainers, you'll see stars get keys to the city, and things like that. You'll see people who are not part of the community get keys to the city. But for me, it was like to get a key to a city where I was doing something I'm not paid to do. So I wasn't, hey, I'm gonna get a key to the city to the fireman who saved the lady whose car went in the lake.
Right.
Well, that's his job.
Right.
You understand? So to be recognized by my peers for something that, something that I wanted and felt it was necessary to do for all the number of years that I did do it, it was something that I was real appreciative of.
Yeah, and it kind of reminded me when you just said what you said. It kind of reminded me of that slogan when they say, "Do when you in a hidden space when nobody can't see you." I'm saying the same wrong, but when you're not being watched, do the same good as when you're being watched.
Correct.
So I know it feel good to like be rewarded after the fact without even really looking for that, and then it's just like, hey, we appreciate you for what you gave to the city.
It's always good to be for someone to say, "Hey, job well done."
Right.
You understand? It's always, it's a sense of accomplishment. It's something that I wasn't looking for, but for someone to say, "Hey, we do appreciate the things that you've done for this community. We do appreciate the things you've done, for someone else other than yourself, unselfishly." It was big for me.
Yeah, and big for the family too. We family,
Yeah,
I was a
family,
W for the family because our family been going through stuff lately. We just lost two people that's very close and dear to us. And I know they'll be proud of the accomplishments and stuff because you even had Auntie Pinky come up there with you, and I was like, yeah, that's love, that's big. So, what's next for you? Like, what plans you got? I know certain things be a secret. You can't tell everybody the sauce. Sometimes you just gotta pop out when it's done.
No, it's like I said, it's a continued process. So it's a continued growth and elevation. Mm-hmm. It's some things that I want to do personally in business to, see the next chapter of my life. Maybe a different avenue from what I've been doing altogether, and things of that nature. I'm entering the backside of my life and things like that. So it's time for me to transcend. So it's time to find successors to the things that we're doing, so we can keep it up and we can keep developing the youth and keep coming on. Because of course, I'm not going to be able to do it the rest of my life, or no one else is. But we have to train someone to come behind us and do what it is that we've been doing, so they can do it for the next generation. And it continues.
Yeah, I most definitely did that. I applaud all of y'all. All of the strong arm homies, definitely strong arm big homies. Everybody really did their due diligence with working with the youth, and I'm like really waiting to see longer some of those same youth grow up and be in college and be in the NFL, and you're they started from these same parks right here.
It's a bunch of them already there. It's a bunch of them that's playing in the NFL, and some of them that's making major strides in the collegiate world. Today, some of the best players in the country today come from our league. So, it's great to see that our league is started in 2012. You understand, and we're still here today. I mean, we've had James Cook play in the league. We've had Naquan Wright. We've had the current, probably the best player in college football today, JJ Jeremiah Smith. He's at our league. It's a bunch of kids. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of kids. Even Travis Hunter played in our league.
That's what's up.
So
and I wanted to ask you, what was the abbreviation for FYFL?
Florida Youth Football League.
Okay, Florida Youth Football.
Florida Youth Football League.
That's what's up.
Right.
That's what's up.
You can give a shout out to everybody that worked, to make Florida Youth Football League what it is. The entire executive board. Of course, on one side, and then you still got Strong Arm and Big Dreams for Family on one side working it as well. So it's a big, operation that goes into putting together what it is that we all do. People think we just do football and cheer.
Right.
But no, we do summer reading programs.
Right.
We do We take youth for entrepreneurial training in different disciplines throughout the summer. It's a lot of things that we do, you know what I'm saying? We make them go feed the homeless, you know, just to appreciate what it is that they do have and things like that, and begin to look at life a little different as opposed to always thinking, you know, you got the worst end of the stick.
Yeah, and that was leading me to my next question. I kind of feel like you answered it, but I'm just gonna ask you here. Do you feel like you got to the point where you know your purpose, or you already starting to fulfill your purpose?
That's a good question. I don't think I ever thought about what my purpose is.
Right.
You understand? I just live day to day. You understand? Doing what I think I'm supposed to do.
Right.
You understand? So I really don't know what my purpose is per se.
Right.
You know, maybe.
Higher voltage.
So everybody want to know, what is higher voltage? Well, it's a platform. We're here to offer services for every upcoming business, every music label, every business, every artist, rapper, singer. Even if you have a product or a merchandise, that's what we're here for. So people want to know why I started it. It's a voice for upcoming businesses. Y'all come tap in. So right now I need all of my Vultures fam to go subscribe to Higher Vultures TV. It's the Higher Vultures podcast. We here to give you plenty episodes and plenty shows. Y'all like, subscribe, and comment. $305, Higher Vultures. Let's go.